Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my juggling guy into a more refined drawing. I'm going to just draw, and I will speed up this video so you can see the whole process and hopefully not in too much time. The things you want to be aware of is this is a rough sketch. Here is what my character looks like well drawn, and I want to make sure that the drawing I do today closely resembles this in size and quality. So the first thing I'm going to do is measure my drawing, and it's 9 inches. So I need to make sure my final drawing is roughly 9 inches as well, and I need to be looking at this for consistency, meaning it looks like the drawing. So I have my sketch and I have my frontal drawing, and then I want to kind of figure out the height. So I have this here, and I'm just gonna remember that it's like slightly curved. So I'm looking at that curve. That might be too much. Curve of my character. So I'm starting off just lightly sketching in my measurements, and then I want to measure the height of my hat, which is roughly, let's call it 4 3/4. So I'm going to come down. Was it 4 3/4 or was it almost 4 inches? 3 4/4. So I'm going to come down. So my hat's going to start. Wow, that's a really tall hat. That doesn't leave much. Why am I off? I'm going to put my hat to about here and see how that goes. Then measure the body. The body was 4 1/2. Let's measure that. It's about 4 1/2. Okay, so I've got some basic measurements here. And then I want to think about the shape and the bend that I want. And I'm remembering I'm putting legs in this one, and I want this to be really round. So I'm drawing in that shape, like so. I'm putting in where would my eyes rest, where would my nose. So I'm marking out the features. I'm measuring, so my eyes are, well, my shoulders are about here actually, and then my eyes will be up here. So I'm just figuring out where everything will go in this position. And I'm remembering that I'm going to see the side of the face a little bit more, so I'm marking that out, knowing that I'm going to put the shoulder here, and this one's going to be behind. And this is going to be the side of the hat here. I'm not really sure of the shape yet, but I'm playing with it. So I'm really thinking about the dimension. I'm seeing the side here. Now the shoulder's coming out of the side here. This one's behind. The nose will be somewhere like there. Okay, so now I'm going to just start drawing and see what I need to refine as I draw. Because it's looking up, I'm going to have these bigger cheeks. Oh, I need to move this over a little bit. It's too close, too centered. So if this is the side, so I was a little bit miscentered here. I'm just going to adjust because this is the side, which means this right here is the center. So getting that 3/4 view. I probably drew that mouth a little bit too dark. Be careful you don't press too hard. The nose is here. And then my eye line is about here. I'm going to even bring the eyelid a little bit off this, so I'm seeing this one tilted towards us a little bit more, so you have to think about the positioning and angles. And you see I'm going to struggle with this one eye, so I'm going to get this one on first. And he's looking up. And then I want the eyebrows to be same shape, but like slightly different position. Get that eye there. Now I can get this one. Because that's the side of the head here. And then I want to think about how this hat, remember, round things wrap around round things. So this is the side of the hat here. Okay. Make sure his eyes are looking in the same direction so he doesn't look cross-eyed. And I'm just kind of neatening up as I go. And then I'll work on this hat a little bit. My hand is kind of casting a shadow on this video, which I apologize about. Make this come around in the front, and then we're seeing the side here a little bit. So just putting in some shading so you can see that. The side feels off here. There we go. So just adjusting that, and I feel like it's just a little narrow, like it doesn't quite feel like the broccoli shape yet. That's better, getting that extra bump in there. So you can see what's in front in the hat here and what's coming behind in this view. Bring this down. Okay, then I want to put this here, and now it's time to make my arms. This one's going to be slightly longer than this one because this one's behind the body. Okay. And now I'm looking at my original sketch. I'll straighten this out a little bit for you guys. Okay, so I gotta get the gloves. And I'm really thinking about not only my original character, but how can I even improve this drawing? And so I wanna really focus on these hands, make them bigger, more expressive. Now the apron's going to come around, So let me get this other glove on, making them roughly the same size, though this one's going to be appearing a little smaller because it is further away from us. Okay. Now I'm looking at my original apron and how it's gonna come down to here where I marked it. Just want a slightly less dark pencil. And as you go, what information do you no longer need? Clean up your work. Okay. So I'm finding his waist for the apron. How will it curve along the back side there? How far does it come down? Where will we see it here? So now we're seeing it more here, so I've got to figure out how the strap will come around on the side. So we're seeing the side of the strap, which we haven't really seen before. And then his arm. And the back side here. His arm's looking a little too skinny. I want to check it against my previous work and just make sure it's thick enough. And we have that little knot there. So again, I'm cleaning up my work as I go. Refining it, and come over to this arm. We're not going to see the armpit so much here. I think I need to just kind of tighten that up. And I'm going to need to revise that glove a little bit. It's not really centered. And then I really want the apron, so if we're finding the bottom here, does it need to come out more? So I'm getting the curve of the face fixed here because the cheek would come out, so it's not quite so flat. And we're seeing that little flare of the apron here. I want to find where his body would come to outside that apron. Just for, I want to measure the proportions of the apron, so I'm comparing what I've drawn size-wise to my original photo. Really simple. I'm just taking my photo and measuring the apron here Measuring it here, seeing that they're the same proportions. Bringing that around. Okay. I'll give them a little chin there. So you can see the face is becoming a little more detailed, a little more dimensional. Even suggest an ear there, though I'm not going to draw an actual ear, but that line kind of suggests it. So I'm thinking about what he needs to become more human, but obviously not overly human. And then I'm going to look at the legs here. I feel like this side, I need to bring this in a little bit more. So I keep adjusting. So eyes a little bit off. I'm noticing everything that needs changing as I go. And I'm just working back and forth. Okay. So next, I'm going to pull that up. And I'm going to start drawing those legs. Now I got to think about how the legs would be lined up with the center point. So this leg's got to be below that, and this leg's got to be closer. I'm going to put the ground in so you can see better. Okay, so there's my center line, right? This leg's in front. And this leg's coming back here. I'm going to just get this leg in and then see about the positioning of my other leg. I'm going to draw a circle for the toe and then think about how the shoe shape will come around. Things like shoes, they're pretty important style-wise. Like, how should your shoe look? That's something I need to work on for this character. In this demo, I'll keep it simple, and then later I'll really go back in and refine the shoe. But that could take a while, and I don't want to have you watch me draw a shoe for a really long time. So right now my shoe's kind of cartoony and sock-like, and that's going to work for now. Now I need to think, is this leg in the right spot? It looks like it's too far over. So if I drew this up like this, where would this, well, actually, and they're on the same plane, so their ankles are gonna meet, and the feet are about the same size because they're not, one is not in front of the other, they're standing in the same spot. Really, this one's a little bit longer, but that's it. Get rid of that. And now the key is to make these feet symmetrical. So I want to check size, draw back and forth. The nice thing is if they're a little bit off, we want it as close as possible, but this is something you can easily fix with the computer, and I'll show you how to do that when we start executing these in our digital programs. Now something went off with my feet. Are they not lined up? But this part of the body is closer, so actually it's not that big of a deal, but ooh. All right, I'm gonna keep working on that foot, but I don't wanna keep you watching me work on that foot this entire time. So I hope this tutorial helps you figure out how to draw in an action pose, how to revise and refine and make your best work. I will be checking on you. Let me know when you need my help. And of course, I need a little bit more revision and refinement on this drawing, so I'm going to do that now, and I'm going to let you go and start your drawing as well.